Same thing. I just kind of, that was just a preview. All right, these are all of my ways you can connect with me, akimel.com. That's most of you got on that. Instagram, my YouTube, Facebook. It's a couple of more TikTok, and I didn't put them all in. And this is the newest website, mykoya.org. That's where all of the ministry stuff is. Go check that out. I actually got a program coming out, spirituality program coming out, but it's so extensive. It's taking a little bit longer to get it finished, but it's going to be finished soon. So what we're doing here, I call it kingdom building. You know, you're building your kingdom, you're building your church. If you're here and you have a problem with religious terms or anything with religion, I'm sorry. As long as you stay here, you're going to have a problem with it, because that's how I roll. And I roll like that because the Constitution says no one can abridge my religious freedoms, no one can question it, and it protects me. So that means that your payment to me today is considered a donation, and you can write that off on your taxes. And you'll see when I go through these slides, you'll see the EIN number you can use to get a credit on it. So anything you pay this ministry, you get the write off. Okay. But pretty much you can write off anything. Anybody you pay, a lot of the small bills that you guys are paying, you can write those things off. You just didn't know. And the only reason why you can't write it off because you're using their number, which is the Social Security number, the number they created for their benefit, and made you the holder of it, but not the controller. You see, you're just holding their legal fiction and continue to make money off of it. So they let you keep, let's just say taxes, they let you keep roughly 70% of your earnings from that. That's your payment for controlling that entity, and they take the other 30%. Sometimes if you get bonuses, they're going to take almost 50%. So you got your regular pay, but if you get a bonus, say $5,000, they're going to take $2,500 out, or almost half of that right off the top. That's the deal you enter with the devil when you sign up. That's why I don't advocate people who have jobs. I don't really support that because it doesn't give you real freedom. One thing, you have to go to work, you have to clock in, you have to go on vacations when they say you can only live in a certain place based on the income that they pay you. And then on top of that, they take portions of it right before you get paid, and then you got to go to the store and pay taxes everywhere you go. So basically, when you really look at your check, you're getting taxed probably double, triple, quadruple times, because you got taxed on that money you earned. Then you go to the store, you buy gas, there's the tax there. You buy something, there's a tax there. So you really don't get to use your money. But if you're in business for yourself and people just write you straight, like with you guys paid what, 197? That came straight to the ministry. Now, there are some fees that I pay for, them transacting the credit card payments. 1%. It's not that much, but my money comes to me. Then because I'm a church entity, I'm exempt from filing anything. So, and I'm going to help you realize how to set yourself up. And if some people have a problem, well, it's using religion as a form of not paying taxes. Okay, what's the problem with that? You see everybody else is doing it, all these other big churches. How come you can't do it? Well, it's playing with God. How is it playing with God? Playing with God is if you claim to be something and you don't live up to those ideologies, but your finances should be connected to God. Actually, that's the way you're supposed to do, not the way we've been doing it. We've been connected. We've connected to the church of government. I do realize that that's a church, right? That's a religious entity. Everything they do, you go to court, everything is done religiously. Just like back in the old days when they had court, King Solomon had court, they came before the king. Same thing. The courtroom is set up like a church. And years ago, the court and the church was in the same building. They did everything. They had school in that building, court in that building, and they had church. Somebody's got to mute themselves. You got to, I think that was John. Thank you. All right. So 1 Corinthians 3:9-10. It says, for we are God's fellow workers, you are God's field, you are God's building. So we're saying you're the worker, you're the field, and you're the building. See, no one taught most church folks that that's what they are. According to the grace of God, which was given to us as a wise master builder, I've laid the foundation. So there's a foundation laid for you in every way, even in your business life. There's a foundation. But unfortunately, the foundation we've been given is the government foundation, man's foundation. And that's what we've been building on. And because we built on that, we have to pay the price to build on their foundation. So that's why you continue to lose. And another builds on it, but let each one take heed how he builds on it. So you're supposed to build on a foundation of spirituality and connect all of your, after that, everything comes. What is that scripture says? Put the kingdom first, then all these things is added to you. And this message is across, I don't care who you are, Muslim, Jewish, Judaism, Buddhist, same scenario. Your spirituality comes first in everything else, because if you do that, everything is protected and you get to keep a lot more of your money. So, what does the Holy Spirit teach? It says, these things we also speak not in words which man's wisdom teaches, but with the Holy Spirit teaches, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him. When I talk this message to some people, they don't like it. They don't get it. It sounds foolish. It sounds crazy. That's not who I'm trying to motivate. I'm trying to motivate the people. When I do speak these things, they get it. And everybody's in here pretty much get what I say because they're here. Nor can he know them, and they won't know him. So all of you trying to teach people and, hey, you got to do this, and they're not getting it, they're not going to know it. They're not ready, because because these things are spiritually discerned. But he who is spiritual judges all things. I just recently did some paperwork, and I entered this scripture, some of the scripture into it, and it got them released out of the Milton ward in Florida. They were trying to hold them, and I said, this is all you need to say when you go in there. Because they were getting somebody to try to judge them crazy and stuff like that, and just put that in there. And that are being sacrificed. And that's, if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you got to feel your way through the dark, and I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it, the information station changing the nation.
Too many people think too much. They think, man, I gotta have this. I think about what people gonna say, how they gonna react, blah, blah, blah. People gonna say and react how they going to react. You can't control that. You just gotta keep your mind focused on what you're trying to do. Stop getting focused on what people think. Stop caring so much about that. Am I saying be rude and hurt people's feelings? No, I'm talking about in the context of you creating your business and getting off the ground. People may reject it a lot right at first. There was a lot of ideas out there that was rejected a lot. The idea of selling water in a bottle that you can get out the tap free was rejected at first. The idea that we could fly somewhere on a plane in the air was rejected at first. They said the first franchise opened in 1952. So he was 71 years old. And why can't you do that? Do something. 71. But here's it, before he got to that point, he was doing other things. Do you think that he thought he was going to have a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchise. He just was serving. He just decided this is how ideas work. He decided to have a filling station, which is a gas station, and serve food. And he used recipes from his childhood that he learned and was serving that. It morphed into the franchise after many years. So I said 37, 52 was when the first franchise opened up. And that's how all ideas work. It starts somewhere and then it ends up this big idea. But it started off with a little idea, bunch of little ideas put together. That's why I said there is no excuses, because most people, when they want to do something, they think about, I want to be where Kentucky Fried Chicken is today. Well, if you want to be where Kentucky Fried Chicken is today, you have to put in some time and effort and some years, because that's what it took to get there. Peace, peace. What's up? Man, I was just close. Just that close. That close to not doing the show. I was fighting myself for the last hour because I was doing some wrapping up some things with the trucking company, and I had to run out and do some shopping today. And out of nowhere I got a migraine. I don't get the painful migraines. I get the sensitivity to light. I don't know, something I must have ate. And plus it's the pollen season. Sometimes that'll happen. But it came and gone. But what happens when you get those migraines, it takes you feel like you need to rest your brain. Just rest. So right around, I would say like 6:30, 6:25, 6:30, I decided to practice my guitar. Said, you know what? Because I had planned on, I'm not going to do a show and I'm going to go lay down just and get up and do some work later. And so I said, you know what? I need to practice this guitar. So I did that. And then by practicing the guitar, that woke me up. That inspired me, because I'm working on this piece, and the last half wasn't sounding like I wanted it to sound, like it should sound. Let's put it like that. And so I decided to get on YouTube and pull up a video of the song so I can hear the tune and how it's played in the rhythm. And I've listened to this video several times, but sometimes you have to do stuff over and over to get it. Like I had the first half down, I got the first half of the song, first two lines. I guess in his first 12 measures, I had down. The other is total of, I think, 20, 18, 19, 22 measures in this. But that half wasn't, the melody wasn't, I was getting the keys, but it wasn't, the melody wasn't there. So I listened to the song that I've listened to several times just to kind of keep my brain locked in on the melody, and it clicked. I got the melody for that second half correct. I got it. I got it now. Now I've listened to it before. That's what it takes to get something right. You have to keep doing it over and over, listening to it over and over and over again, and then it clicks, and then that finally a pathway is created so that I can remember that. And this is with anything you're trying to do. You're trying to build a channel. You're trying to build a business. You just keep doing it. It was like this time last year, maybe a month, maybe into April, when I took over the dispatching part of the business and started dispatching my own trucks, and realized how much money we were losing by not doing that. Allowing someone else to do it, they weren't living up to, our earnings last year was like up 300% from the year before, just because I decided to take that into my own hand. But then dispatching was kind of hard because I didn't know what I was doing. But now it's like it's night and day. The time will go by regardless. It's gonna be another year's gonna go by. But what are you doing in that year? Are you doing something to improve yourself? Are you doing something to retrain your brain? And the breakthrough I had with the guitar today, I feel really good about it because it's like, okay, now I'm really getting this guitar playing, the techniques. I know the chords, I know the different things, but just these little nuances, these techniques that make it sound good. It's one thing to play, but then to play where it sounds good. That's the accomplishment. And you can listen and tweak and then play with it a little bit. Now I can play with it and do different things, little tricks. So because of that, that inspired me to do my show that I said I was not going to do. And some said sip something, it'll go away. Yeah, my migraines come and go in like 10, 15 minutes. But it does leave back behind a residual effect. Like the brain just needs to rest. It comes as fast as it comes, it goes. It's just weird. And it's more like I drank or ate something. Because what I remember just drinking some water, then I took a piece of bread, and then next you know, I came up to I think it's the screen sometimes, just the sensitivity. I need to wear my blue blocker glasses. That might have triggered it. I do a lot of screen time. Literally, I do a lot. So that preview I was showing was the the webinar, public and private webinar from Saturday, and it was really good. I have to say so. I revealed some things about trust right out of the IRS code, how you supposed to be filing. I showed my own letter of the response I got from the bank once I sent them my 1099s. It was a very positive response. So, yeah. So, I mentioned this book on Sunday, The Mind. I'm loving this book. I've read some more of it, and I just like it's like reading this coincides with a lot of stuff that I've read about mind science, listened to from Reverend Ike and others, and they all say the same thing. If you want to change your world, your outwardly world, or the world outside of you, you must change the world inside of you. They didn't say exactly that. That's what I said. You have to change you. Reverend Ike said, if you want to make the world a better place, make yourself a better person. Say it again. If you want to make the world a better place, make yourself a better person. Now, don't get confused by you making yourself a better person that everything in the world is just going to fix itself. No. What will happen when you change you, the inside of you, you will have a different perspective, a different perception on the things that are happening that are not so good. You will become the beacon of truth and light in your life. So when you see these negative things, you know how to put it in its right place. You know how to interpret it. You know how to look at it and say, that's not happening to me. That's happening out there. It's my choice to take what's happening out there and bringing it in here. That's what we're doing on a daily basis. We're choosing things that are happening outside of us And we have taken a side, choosing a path of whether a good path or a bad path. We choose how we are going to relate to the things that happen outside of us. Like, for instance, you might have lost your job, get fired, get laid off. Now, the typical response to people getting laid off, they get depressed, they get upset, they feel lost, and what am I going to do? See, this system, hold on, let me take my sip. Ooh, thank you, ancestors. Ooh, that's fire. This system has programmed us in such a way that when we receive a notice of I'm getting laid or if you just get fired, we take that as a bad thing. We take that personal. But if you coming from the true place, the true source of enlightenment, you'll see that as a good thing. You'll see that you have been set free from bondage. You've been set free from being a slave to that employer. And you have the opportunity and the freedom to do whatever you like. This calls to mind an experience I had where I was trying to somewhat mentor a young man. He about to finish college. And I called his mom. I said, hey, I want your son's number. I want to talk to him. I want to encourage him because he's about to finish college and I know he's going to have, he's ready. He wants to make some money. I know because this dude, he's always on the entrepreneur side. And his mom was worried about what I was going to talk to him about. Now she knows I've been self-employed since I've known her. I didn't have a regular job when I met her. She knows that. So, and I'm like, so she was like, what are you gonna? She was worried about what I was gonna say to her son. I said, what do you think I'm gonna say to him? You think I'm gonna tell him not to get a job? Or what is it? I saw, you know how it's almost like Christ. You know what they're thinking, where they're going. And I was like, I'm kind of like taken aback that you would think I would encourage him not to finish school when he only got like 2 months left. Right. But I was just, what I was going to do is I was just going to encourage him to follow his instinct when he thinks, follow the spirit of God within him. That's really the talk I was going to have. I was going to try not to make a decision for him. But her programming was so deep into the work, having a job and clocking in and out, that's what people want for their children. They believe that's what they should do. So you can be safe, so you can pay your bills. You want to go be an entrepreneur. Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Things don't always work out. And I said like this. So you think your life is working out? Yeah, I'm making money. I'm paying my bills. No, that's not the question. Do you think what you're doing now is working out for you? Yeah, it's working out. So, it's okay. I said, well, let me ask you this way. If you had the opportunity to quit your job and do something else for yourself, build you an empire, something, would you do that? Yes, if I knew I could make money. See that? Do you see what that? If I knew it, people don't believe they can make money doing their own thing. And this is why they always fail. This is why people fail because they don't believe. They believe the only way to make money, their program, is to go get a job and to work hard to make it. I knew this. I figured something out. When I was working at the World Trade Center and many other jobs, I noticed that the people who made the most money did the least amount of work. So I had to figure out, man, I need to get in their position where I'm making a lot of money doing and not expending as much energy. People, oh, that's lazy. No, that's called being smart, leveraging. And that's one of the principles Myron Golden teaches. When I heard him say that, the way he put it, I said, he's exactly right. I could not disagree with that. It's called leverage. If I can leverage literally, and I'm gonna be teaching this, how you can take a couple of hours a day and make thousands of dollars a day. Just doing 2 hours worth of work, if that much. If you put in the right system. If you put the right system, people like Bill Gates and Bezos and all of them, they put in a lot of. Jeff Bezos put a lot. That's the guy who started Amazon, right? He put a lot of time and effort into getting Amazon off the ground. Now, you think he's sitting down doing the same thing he did when he started the company? Now he's leveraging other people's energy to make his company billions of dollars a year. That's what I'm teaching you. But see, y'all like to be the ones who are being, what do they call, the leveragees? Y'all, a lot of people like to be the leveragee, the one who is being leveraged, aka being used to serve a purpose for a multi-billion-dollar company. I hope that hit hard. I hope you got what I just said. Your energy is being leveraged to make companies millions, billions, whatever that company, make them money. It's your energy they're using. So really, who's really got the power here? So if you can allow someone to leverage your energy, then you can leverage your own energy the proper way. It's too many ways right now. There's no such thing as having a recession. These recessions are man-made, number one. These recessions are only happening because people believe this a recession and they walk in that energy of a recession. But do you believe the people at the top are feeling that same recession like you are? No, because they've already used the power of leverage. They know how to use their time in such a way that it can make them millions of dollars. Some of these guys are making millions of dollars a minute. What's different about them? What makes them different from you? It's only one thing. Their mind, how they think, the systems they put in place. Will it take you time to get there if you decided to leverage your time more wisely? Oh, yes. Took them time. So you can't escape that. The energy they put into it. Now they're reaping it. They sowed into it and they're reaping it. See, we have been put on this plantation and they've been harvesting our labor, these big corporations. And why? Because our parents chose to put it into an education system that taught us that. The mantra: get a good education so you can get a good job. Get a good education so you can get a good job. That's what all I heard when I was in school, and they're still saying the same thing. You go sit in front of a guy that's come, yeah, your grades are great. You'll be able to get you a great job. And we wonder why we have a hard time doing our own thing. The hard time is because we've allowed ourselves to be programmed into this system of Only thing we can see and have a vision for is working for someone else and allowing them to mine our energy. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's among you. It's not out there up in the sky over there. It's right there sitting in your house. And when I mean house, your mind, it's right here. This temple. This is where God resides. And if God resides there, God delivers blessings. So what are you, what are you waiting for? Why haven't you gotten up while I was talking and got you a pen and a paper and start writing down some ideas on what you need to be doing? What you waiting for? Oh, I got this to do. I worked all day. I'm tired. Yeah, I was tired. I was about to shut it down. And then I just did it. Now I'm just talking to you about stop allowing people to take your energy. Start realizing you're being used like a battery to make somebody else's dream come true. Ain't nothing wrong with having a job. It's something wrong. I'm going to say this the right way. It's something wrong with having a job if you're going to sit there and complain that you don't like your job and you complain that you got to get up and go to it. Yeah, then it's something wrong with the job. If you're happy with getting up and clocking in and clocking out and letting somebody control the house, the car, and the vacations you take your family on, it's great. But if you got one complaint about that job and you don't like this, I don't like that guy and how they running this and these rules they making, then it's something wrong with it. And I would say something's wrong with you because you're still there. And the thing that's wrong with you is that you don't see right that you can do this without them. That's what's wrong. That you can leave that job and make 10 times the amount that they're paying you. See? It's called right thinking, right knowledge. And I've drunk this before, but this thing be feel like it's on fire right now. Woo wee. See, and that's the problem. We we have been misled in thinking we got right knowledge. We've been taught right. We know right. Everybody we grew up with, they right. They doing it. I should do it too. Well, let me tell you something. Majority of the folks out there in these 9 to 5 situations are forever marching towards an endless life of constant demotivation, a constant exasperated existence about, I can't wait till it's Friday, or I can't wait till it's my day off, or I can't wait until I get off work, or I can't wait until I can take my vacation. I can't wait until I take my break. You see all of these things that you can't wait for? It leaves you yearning for a break all the time. It leaves you empty. You know how you go on vacation for a week and come back to work and it's like you gotta get back in the groove because why? Because you in a place you really only there because you feel it's the responsible thing to do so I can take care of my bills and my family. That's the excuse we give ourselves. Team, that ain't no excuse. It's real. It's real out here. It's hard out here. Yes, it is hard for you because you said that. Because you in your mind believe that it's hard. Yes, you're right. I agree. Anything negative you say about your situation, I'm going to agree with you that you're right. For you, not for me, not for everybody else, but for you, you're right. I'm not going to argue with you. Yeah, you're right. It's hard. Hard to make money? Yes, it's right for you. I'm not going to. See, it used to be a time where I tried to reverse that thinking of people, but I found it more effective than agree with them. Said what it says, agree with your adversary quickly and get the hell on out of there. Get away from them. Because it's not the adversary, the person, but the thinking is adversarial. Because when someone is constantly talking about how bad their situation is, then you gotta let them have it. They're right. I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm never gonna disagree when you say your situation is bad. Because it is. Because you are the orchestrator. You are having dominion over your life and your situation, and anything you say or do, it's right for you, for your situation. Now, if you want that situation you said is hard and this, you have to start to think a new thought. You have to think it's not hard. It really isn't hard. I'm interpreting this as hard. I'm saying this is hard. I'm calling this out as being hard. Anything you having difficulty in is because you in agreement with the difficult situation. You have agreed that to yourself and convinced yourself that it's difficult. And you hear me say, yeah, this is gonna be a hard thing to get out of. It really isn't hard. But I say that because I know where the difficulty is gonna come with most people. Especially if you've been living a life of programmed existence of God is gonna fix it someday and wait on this and wait on that and call on Jesus and that. If you live in that existence, then everything you expect is coming somewhere in the future. It's not coming for you now. See, all the people in the Bible had to view and envision themselves as being healed right now. The lady who touched the garment of Christ, she had to know if I touch once I touch him, don't you know that she didn't just if she had thought a new thought, like I don't have to help, just believe I can be healed, just knowing, be around in his presence, not necessarily touching him. But see, that whole situation has a spiritual esoterical meaning. See, for her to be healed, she believed if I touch him, I will be healed. But see, the double meaning, the higher meaning is if I just connect to my Christ mind. She had sword in her mind that if I touch his garment, I get over there, get through these people, I touch his garment, I'll be healed. Right? She was connecting to Christ consciousness. She was coming into her true self. Because what it was, she wasn't in her real nature, her true nature, because she had this issue of blood. And we all know, what does blood represent? The life force. Without it, you won't survive, right? But she kept losing it too much. She had an issue with her own life force. And she had to go touch Christ to heal and regain her life force. And she was healed instantly from just a touch. And the Christ consciousness say, who touched me? Who activated the Christ power within me just now? Who made this connection? And this is what you got to do. You got to become like that woman and see your situation healed and get in touch with the Christ consciousness in you. Because in her, she had already gotten in her mind, she had thought. It was all thought. It was all mind. And the mind activated her actions to walk in through this crowd. It was a lot of people. If you study every healing in the Bible, all of it was mind science or mind healing. because he spoke to them. What do you see? He told them, like, what do you see? He had to look and interpret it and think it and say it. At first, it was cloudy. And as he believed more, he changed his mind into higher consciousness and believing and knowing that he was healed, he would be healed or is healed. He began to see clearer. And Christ always told him, don't tell nobody. Stop talking to these non-believing folks. And they always run and tell. We do that, right? We go run and tell somebody, and then they, what? Where is he? Let's find him. And they try to kill him because why? Can't have you awake. They can't have you knowing how powerful you are. They can't have too many gods roaming the planet with true God consciousness. They can't have that, then they won't have no power. Because what? Light chases away darkness. Too much light, they done. They've already made their deal with the devil and decided to walk in act in darkness. So when light comes in, they gotta go. Yeah, shoot, that's why some of my videos get very little likes and views. I know I get a lot more than they say I do, because people are calling me every week. But I don't care, because they don't control my God consciousness. They don't control how much money I'm gonna have in the bank. They don't control my peace. I control that. People go, oh, they took down my videos. They did this. They took a couple of videos of mine down. And I say, so what? Because I know that light always chases away darkness. No, so nowhere, wherever I go, I'm bringing light. So either you gonna become enlightened or you gonna leave. It's only two choices, and whatever one you choose, I'm happy with that. We get too caught up in making people know what we know. I don't care if you know what I know. I don't have time to care about that. What I have time to care about is whether I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Somebody said, let's see, somebody in the code. Who's out there? Okay. We got Asim Shabazz said peace. Karen, host of Leveled Up Thursday, says happy Tuesday, everyone. This discipleship ministry, SC says peace, my brother. Peace back to you. See, Asim Shabazz says sim something, it'll go away. LOL. It did. It did. It did go away. I'm on fire right now. I got a couple of more sips. Big Man Master Abel Noble says peace, love, and light. C King Bay says peace, everyone. Um, and Falcon L555 says greetings, Elder, and one love chat. 95% of the population doesn't have a purpose. This message is for the elect. Absolutely. How many jobs can you pass down to your kids? LOL. You're right. You live your entire life working for a master, then you tell your children to go get their own master because you want put them in a good world to your word. Put a good word to your master. That is so true. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to them on jobs, see if they hire you. It's, when you sit there and you think of that on the highest conscious level, it's ridiculous. It's the craziest notion. You sit here and you sit on your throne and your godship, and you realize that God gave you the power to have control and dominion over all things. And everything is working for you to be nothing but the best. Everything. There's nothing working against you. Everything's working for you. That person that walked out of your life, working for you. That person giving you a hard time, working for you. That thing that you having difficulty, it's working for you. Okay? That what seems to be illusionary, low, no money in the bank, don't have the money to pay the bills, working for you. Oh yeah, Akeem, how can that be working for me? Because you got to make a choice. Are you going to keep doing the same foolish thing you've been doing before that caused that bank account to be low, or are you going to do something different? Well, I got a job. That's the problem. That's the problem. Your job ain't paying you enough to pay your bill. So why are you in a place where it's not paying you? Oh yeah, I got to get 2, 3 jobs. Oh, and be slave to 3 masters. The Bible's made it clear. You can't be a you can't be a slave to more than one master. You will love one and hate the other. Huh? Or you end up hating them all because they're all going to tell you when to come and when to go. And all of them don't care about your other job. No, I know you got another job, but this job you signed up for, you'll be hearing all that slack. Huh? Again, why are you so hard on these people with these jobs? No, I'm only hard on the people with the jobs that keep complaining about how bad it is. Because if it's so bad, get the hell out of there. Why you keep being in a bad relationship that ain't working for you and then complain about it? Is either you be happy and take what they give you and do it cheerfully, or get the hell out of there. And I know that large majority of people don't really want to be at their job. I know that. I could put money on that. I had somebody try to fool me and tell me, yeah, I love my boss. I love my job. Or because the first statement they said was, everybody who worked for themselves always wants somebody to work for themselves. So that was a hating statement in the first place, right there. They were trying to hate. Now, I wasn't trying to promote that. They just assumed that I would because I said I work for myself. That I would start preaching them. I guess other people try. I already learned by that time not to preach to people who like to be employees. And I said, so you really, really like your job. So then I said, well, you like somebody controlling how much vacation you take and house you live in and all that stuff. Then the conversation abruptly ended. See, there was no truth in the words that was being spoken. Because when I put it that way, it hit a spark. God didn't design us that way. The master designer did not design us to be somebody's slave for most of our life. He designs us to be masters over our destiny. The men in the Bible that he favored, they all was wealthy, if I recall. They was wealthy and all, children, money. They had people working for them because those people chose they felt they needed a master, so they went to got one. See, this message is for like the brother said, the elite, the elect, the people who want to be number one, A's at the top of their game. So it's no need in complaining about your job and how bad it is and you wish this and wish that if you're gonna stay there. Stay there and be joyful, be happy, be thankful. And if you can't be thankful, then you need to remove yourself from that situation. He said, I'm on vacation, but I knew it was going to be a good show. I didn't know because it wasn't going to be. I planned it, boy, but the ancestors had they plan for me. Now, y'all see me take multiple sips of this stuff, right? And every time I take a sip, it gets stronger and stronger. Like it put my tongue on fire. This has never done this before. Maybe that's something got to be said. Is somebody listening that's in the situation that I'm speaking on, complaining? Man, I hate this. I got to get out of this. I got to do something different. But you still keep going to get it. You won't. Instead of when you get off work, working on your purpose, you go to sleep. Well, I got responsibilities. Okay, I agree. You do. But your first responsibility is to your own spiritual well being. Put that first, and all these other things will be added to. Because once you align yourself in the spiritual space, everything falls into place. Everything. I can't stress that even more. When I'm out of alignment spiritually, things don't fall into place. When I connect to people and things that are not spiritual, things fall apart. And you have to learn how to dismiss those things that come in that you can potentially allow yourself to be distracted away from your higher purpose. You see? I know y'all hear me? What is it right now? Just ask yourself, what is it that I am not doing that is keeping me stuck? What is it? Well, I would suggest you start with your thinking, your mind. I suggest you do that. Let's read something. I was reading. There's so many good things in here. Let's read this. Matthew 7:12. Therefore, all things, whatever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. These are all expressions of the law of fate or cause and effect. Whatever thought or deed comes from a person will be returned to the human being. It may not come in the same form, but sooner or later, each person will confront the result of his or her own actions. Yes, that's true. That's so true. I this year and the year before, I have come confronted decisions I made over 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I, where I came to that point where I said, this is a result of that decision. Yes. And don't look at that like a bad thing. Look at it as a good thing because you have what? You have awakened. You have become like the prodigal son who woke up and like, oh, this is the mess I've caused for myself. Let me return back to the Father. Let me return back to Christ consciousness. Let me return back to where there is nothing but peace and abundance and good time. It may not come in the same form, but sooner or later, each person will confront the result of his own actions. A generous and giving person draws a response of warmth and love. If the person is hateful, he or she will be disliked until he or she removes this negative quality. This is law. That's a law. These reactions are not always experienced immediately. Sometimes human beings' reactions are not easily learned, and negative patterns may be concentrated for many years. A single lifetime, my child, may not be sufficient for one to obtain perfection. Some people create a hell for themselves. Isn't that true? Isn't that true that we have created our own hell? If you're being honest, even if the hell you're in or been in is with involved with another person, think about it. You created that. Stop looking at the other person and trying to blame it. You created that by your own choices, by your own energy of attracting this person into your life. And that's a result of a past decision. This is why some people may have it hard and others have it easy. One healthy, another unhealthy. One is cheerful and another depressed. One extroverted and the other introverted. One successful and the other unsuccessful. It is neither cruel fate nor a distant and unconcerned fate. That set the stage for these situations, but one's own fate, the you, as revealed to our servant Ahmed, the noble Quran 61:6, who is called the Tonas Ahmad, Songs of Solomon 5:16, and in rhythm Muhammad, who is the son of Abdullah and Amina and Arabia, founder of the Mohammedanism religion. It is he who received the Quran, the noble Quran from Allah God, by way of the angel Gabriel. Gabriel he claimed. He who bears the title Gabriel, the son of Raziel, Zamael, was the messenger of the great message called Al Islam, the rebirth of the religion of Abraham, where it states in the fourth chapter, in the 79th verse, in part, whatsoever good happens to you, it is from God. Whatever bad happens to you, it is from yourself. Wow. We have sent you to the whole of humanity, and God is sufficient as a witness. A human being's life is his of her own responsibility. And that is what people have what do you call have a hard time coming to terms with. Realizing it's their own responsibility in how their life is turning out. No, the system is hard on me. The, the system is trying to keep us black folks back. No, the system is doing what the system do. It's nothing personal. It's just business. It's your job to take care of your business. Learn the game and learn to play the game well. Okay? Learn it. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to learn. Nobody wants to sit down and be patient. No, they want to entertain. I need to watch my shows, my show on. It's a new episode tonight. Oh, the game's on. This system, and it is a system, and it's a well-oiled system. The system gives you what? Religion, public education, government, and all other types of systems of ideology to buy into. And they get and entertainment. That's a religion too. If there's a religion, if there's a fourth system, that's it. Entertainment. Because why? While it's giving you their false education and their false government and their false religious ideologies, they give you entertainment to distract you from all of those other things they while they pick in your pocket. Yeah, I gotta watch the game my team is on that you got no stock in and not profiting off of at all unless you betting on a game and you losing more than you winning. That was the last sip, and it was not as potent. See, woo. Okay, I hope y'all get it. I'm not saying this to get on your case, but I'm saying this to wake you up. The time is now. That's all you got right now. That's all you have. You have nothing else but now. That's it. So now is what are you going to do? You heard what I had to say. And most of all, I'm only, let's keep it real. I'm only repeating what you've already said to yourself. That's why you're here. That's why you tune in every week. Yeah, I'm only repeating what you already said to yourself. I'm not saying anything new. I might be saying it in a different way. I might be saying it in a different tone. I might be saying it with some force differently. But for the most part, your spiritual self has been knocking you over the head, telling you, hey, what you doing? Hey, 3 o'clock in the morning, get up, write that thing that's that inspirational thought you had. Write it down. Or go act on it. And what do? You look at that clock, turn over, I'll get it later and go to sleep. Akiem, how you know? How you know you in my bedroom? You can see us? You spying on us? No. I ain't got to spy on you. I ain't got to know. I know how we are. I know what we really are, and we all operate the same way. We come from the same designer. We come from the same designer who designed us to be spiritual and powerful and divine. And the way we get our inspiration is when everybody's calmed down and all the negative energy is subsided. That's when, in the wee hours of the night, is when God can really speak to you and get you in that corner and start to talk to you. That's what happens. How you know I can't? Because it happens to me all the time. And a lot of times I listen, and then sometimes I don't. And I always regret when I don't. Do I get demotivated? Oh, yes. Do I feel like I'm not making a difference? Yes, I do get that. Listen, we are 180. Let me tell y'all about who we are, because half of us is flesh, the other half is spiritual. We are 180 degrees truth and 180 degrees not truth. And all it takes is 1 degree in each direction to be more the opposite of the other. I hope I didn't mess your head up or confuse you with what I just said. 180 degrees truth and 180 degrees not truth. And which, now you have to know which 180 degrees is not truth. The ego, the carnal mind, the material mind, not truth. And why is it not truth? Why is the carnal mind, why is what we see physically not truth? Because at any moment, with a change of a thought, the physical can be changed and manipulated. What we see or what we thought we see won't be there anymore. Is on a smaller level, you could be looking for something like your keys or something. That happens to me a lot. And looking for the keys. I've looked for my keys and I was holding them. So in one moment, it wasn't true that I didn't have the keys because I believed I didn't have the keys. There's the not truth. Then I turn around, they're in my hand. There's the truth. Did y'all get what I just said? The not truth, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. The not truth, what's not true, is that you got to go get and work for your what do you call your success. You got to get all these things and do that. That's the not truth. Because guess what? You're already wealthy. You already have an inheritance that's already ready made for you. You got a buffet of prosperity sitting there waiting on you. The difference is you haven't walked up to the table and picked it out for yourself. That's the truth. When you see yourself already having and basking in that, in the spiritual realm, which is your consciousness, the higher realms of consciousness, then it will transmute it into the physical. That's why the physical can change at a moment. It becomes not true. So you must always be in your spiritual mind and be in truth. so that you can keep transmuting and transcending everything into truth. So everything lines up with what is there spiritually. Your spiritual heritage, like the son who left, it was always there. Always there. I had that epiphany. It was years ago. It's probably 15 years ago. I had the epiphany. I was laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, worrying about bills, and something spoke to me. That's what I'm saying. It's always in those wee hours. Something spoke to me and said, listen. And I was that's why I was talking about the prodigal son, because it was that story I was thinking about that gave me this revelation. It was that very story. And while I was meditating on it, a voice said, you already have wealth. Why are you asking for wealth when you already got it? All you got to do is go walk up and get it. It's a buffet there waiting for you. You just have not come in and got it. Remember that story where he said he sent the kid out, or is a story he sent him? There's a fable that was going around the internet, and it was a kid. He said, listen, I'm gonna cook and I'm gonna do all these things. And he said, call all the people that he knew. I think that's how the story goes, to come in and have this feast. And nobody showed up. All the people he knew, the friends and associates, they didn't show up. But all of these strangers showed up to this feast. See? The people that's going to take advantage of these things are the strangers. Or even listen to what you have to say. The strangers. People that you know they ain't gonna listen. They too busy thinking they know they got everything already, or they got to work for it. They got to work hard for it. They got to bust their behind, put in so much energy. I promise you, you spend just 2 hours a day. If you got to split it up, just 2 hours on your purpose, you'll see a transformation in 30 days. Stop begging God to give you something you already have. That's why he ain't answering that prayer. Because you already got it. It's yours. God don't answer. When he gonna answer a prayer for that? He just stand there and watch you like you crazy. You're like, okay, when he gonna see it's right there already? Just open your eyes. Change your thinking. Stop thinking you don't have it, and know that you have it. Then you'll see the table there. When I realized the keys in my hand is when I looked at my hand. Oh, there it is. It's right there. I felt then I said, maybe I got to get in. Oh, there it is. See, when you realize you already have it, then you got it. Then you got it. And DJ OJ said, peace everyone, best channel on YouTube. If you don't love this channel, you don't love God. Thank you, brother. Dr. York books elevated my conscience. I need the mind book. Yeah, I got that off of YouTube. A buffet of wealth. Yes. It was years ago. I was laying and it just hit me. Yo, what you begging for something you already got? See, church folks love to beg. Oh, baby, oh. And you see this stuff going on for years. There ain't nothing changing in these people's life, because it's like if God had this human said, this fool sitting on his knees begging for something I already gave him before he even hit the planet. He already had it. See, we have allowed man's misguided concepts of God to keep us from seeing it. And if you could see what I just said in your consciousness, the next 24 hours will be a drastic transformation of your life. With that being said, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. Have a good night. peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.